Okay, this is Ronald in Winnipeg. I'm sitting here with Atomic Order from Winnipeg as well.
Yeah,
Two thirds of Atomic
two
Order.
thirds of Atomic Order.
Introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Dustin. I play drums in Atomic Order.
I'm John. I play guitar in Atomic Order, and we're missing Kelly, who plays bass.
Ooh, where's Kelly?
Kelly's working.
Okay, now, of course, these guys might look familiar too. They were under another name. You want to explain the name change?
Sure. So we used to be called Rebel Yell, and basically the name started kind of like lots of other dumb band names start. Just someone picks it, and then you just stick with it and go with it for a long time. I guess it was sort of like a play on the Billy Idol song name. So whatever, we had the name for a long time. Didn't really particularly like it that much, or I didn't. Someone figured out that there's some historical connotations to Rebel Yell. The Confederate soldiers in the Civil War used to use it as a battle cry. So we weren't totally attached to the Confederate soldiers and their ideals and slavery and all that kind of shit. So we're kind of irked by it, but we sort of like, whatever. It's not like that's really that relevant today. Then fast forward a couple years, and all of a sudden, Confederate people, ideals, ideologies, slavery, white nationalism, it's kind of in the public sphere and a little bit more relevant. And the name Rebel Yell kind of came back with it. And so these alt-right groups started kind of starting subgroups around Rebel Yell. And then people in those groups saw us on the internet, and they're like, "Oh, cool! Fucking band called Rebel Yell. They must be awesome." So it started with like some few random people following us on social media with posting hateful kind of things, and then we got a message from a guy who's like organizing rallies in Florida and Oklahoma, and he's like, "Love your band name. Want to come play our rallies?" And it's like, "Do you know what we're about? Do you know anything about us?" He's like, "No, but you got a great name, Rebel Yell." And I was like, "How much you paying?" Just kidding. No. And then, but then he's like, "Come down and play," and we were like, "Hell no." And then in the last, year or so, I guess we were like, "Okay, we really need to change our name because we're starting to attract the wrong crowd." So it took forever for us to pick a name, but we did, and it's Atomic Order, and we like it, and it's fresh. It's a new start, and yeah, that's who we are now.
Yeah, it's amazing. I never would have. I never put it together. I'm the same as you. I thought of it like the Billy Idol song. That was my first thought. So,
Yeah.
how soon before we see some new merch come out with the new name?
Well, we got a show in December, so we should have merch under the new Atomic Order name December at the Windsor, right?
December 9th, Windsor Hotel, the Fuck Hunger Harvest fundraising show with Endless Chaos, Suburban Hypocrites, and another band whose name I forget. But yeah, we'll have new merch, t-shirts, cool, rad Atomic Order merchandise.
We make all of our merch by ourselves in
Yeah.
our basement, so we're going to have to get to work.
I have a Rebel Yell shirt, but I don't think anyone here would be confusing it with the different connotations.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, it's super unfortunate.
Well,
It happens
at least
everywhere.
we're not ISIS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. Like they broke
Yeah, it
up.
could be
But like
worse.
if that band was still active, that would fucking suck.
Yeah.
Try touring the world with that name.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I see on your Bandcamp they've re-released Career Day with the new name as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a re-release with the new name.
Yeah, so slowly you'll start seeing all of our internet stuff shift over to Atomic Order. We got the Bandcamp up under the Atomic Order with Career Day. Now we just got to kind of redo some of the artwork for all the different platforms and kind of switch it over. there will be a bigger delay with some of the more mainstream kind of streaming services like Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff, because we have to get codes for all the songs and submit them through more formal channels.
They just take a while. They take time.
Yeah. So what's next now? You guys going to be recording over the long winter, or anything with tours coming up?
We're writing songs right now. We're writing a new record, and yeah, we're hoping to get something out. What's our long-term goal there?
I don't know. I would say by
Record this
the
one.
end of summer we'll probably have a full album done, or by the end of winter. I mean, sorry.
Well,
probably
that's the
have-
best thing about the Winnipeg winter, right?
Yeah, like we already got a couple tracks going. Feels good. Slightly different vibe, but very similar kind of style.
Mhm.
I like it. So I would say probably by spring or summer we'll have new music out.
What about at the next show? You guys having some new songs there?
If Dustin
Mo?
can get his drum fills down, I think we might be able to play a new song.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. What I want to do is just kind of record a couple at a time and then throw them up as we kind of go,
Yeah.
instead of like waiting. Because when we did Career Day, I felt like we were playing these songs for like 3 years already, and then we released the CD, and then it was just kind of like, oh well, now all these songs are new to the fans, but to us, they're like getting stale. So if we kind of pump out music a little quicker or in smaller doses, then I think that would kind of rectify that.
You guys like that? Like all the different platforms you could use nowadays? It's
Yeah, it's
pretty
great.
easy to get everything out there.
Totally.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the old school is kind of dead. People are using different kind of platforms to do stuff. YouTube, even, like, people just put their whole album on YouTube, and you can play it either track by track or the whole album. It's free and easy.
Do you have any strange followings anywhere in the world? Any that surprise you?
Yeah, the Southern Nationalists were a surprise.
Yeah.
people.
I guess other than
yeah, that was
that.
a little weird. I don't know.
Not really. I mean, the only thing is just remnants of our old band, Red Blanket, kind of pop up randomly out of nowhere. Like, hey, I was a fan of your old band like 10 years ago, and listen to your music, and I live in wherever, I guess.
Yeah.
Randomly. I mean, that one just kind of came up. That's why it's kind of fresh in my mind, I guess. But other than that, like, I don't think we're like huge in Brazil or nothing.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be sweet.
You gotta go down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just say one more thing, but like
Yeah.
the name, changing the name. Like if anybody who like followed us since the start of Rebel Yell, we play a really different kind of brand of music now. It's a lot more punky rock kind of stuff, and I think the name change is probably well overdue. People, were like, yeah, you don't even sound like the original Rebel Yell. So I'm glad we changed it.
Yeah, I remember the first time I seen you guys was opening for Propagandy, and I bought the CD and the shirt.
Yeah.
But that was the old stuff, like long before Career Day.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how old that CD was, but
Yeah.
it was completely different from what I'd seen that night.
Yeah.
I was like, what the?
What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, opening up for Propagandy was awesome for us. Like, obviously, to play to their fans is sweet, and got us exposure. Got you to buy the CD,
Yeah.
and
Deceived you to buy the CD.
hopefully we can do it again with our new CD.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll see you guys in December at the Fuck Hunger show at the Windsor Hotel.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for doing this,
Yeah.
guys.
Woo!